The final discard. The narcissist's final discard. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for coming. I'm Leah. That's a true story. I'm sticking to it. Final discard? Is there a final move by the narcissist? A final chess move? No. That's not the end of this video. I'm going to share with you some important things that you have to be aware of so that you don't fall into this trap. Because really, the only way there's a final discard is if you make it the final discard. It's completely up to you. Narcissists will circle back weeks later, days later, months later, years later. This is a disordered person, but the order to them is always love bomb, devalue, discard, hoover. So that's the only order to this type of disordered person. So the discard, the final discard, even though you might say, oh, I burned that bridge, I exposed them, or I caused this huge narcissistic injury, so they're not coming back. Oh, you better believe they're coming back. Whoa, you better believe my shirt is falling off. Because now they need to punish you. So if there's a window, if there's a door, if there's a doggy door, they're getting in there. They're getting in there and they're coming back. So remember, there is no final discard. But when we think of a narcissist, really we should think of them as a narcissist, because they're experts in dissing. They're experts in discarding. They're disordered, so you can always expect disorder. They will cause dis-ease in your body in some facet or another, whether it's actually a physical disease or dis-ease in your mental, physical, spiritual body. They will always blame you. I'm not happy. I'm discontent. They will blame you for cheating. They will blame you for lying because they're discontented. They are dysfunctional. So, of course, a discard is normal. This is part of their routine. But you have to remember that that is the order always. So even if somebody's with somebody their whole life, say your narcissist marries their new supply and they're with them forever, still the same order to this disordered person. It's always going to be love bomb, devalue, discard, hoover. So even if you stay married to this person forever, then they'll emotionally discard you. They are so mean in the end when you're discarded, or they do the reverse discard and get you to discard them. They are so mean because they want you debilitated. You're much easier to manipulate that way. You're in a brain fog, you're sad, you're confused, plus that makes you really unattractive. So it makes it much easier for them to go with their new supply and not feel guilty because they're like, that is like low energy over there, so they don't want anything to do with you. And then when you start feeling better, I've mentioned this a lot of times, but it's so important to remember, you start feeling better, that's when they'll circle back and hoover you again. And so you have to step out of that cognitive dissonance and be really honest with yourself. A healthy, happy, kind, loving, compassionate person doesn't discard people. People are not objects to be thrown in the trash. So if a relationship ends, it can be painful, but you don't get treated dirty. They don't do you dirty like a narc does. Okay, a narc does you dirty because they're disordered. They defame you. They're talking smack about you to the new supply. All this information that you're talking about to friends or watching narcissist videos, they're saying that about you to the new supply. They have to, because that feeds the new supply's ego. They're like, oh, I'm so much better than your old girlfriend or boyfriend, right? They start overperforming, so that serves the narcissist. And then the narcissist feels better because this person is feeding their ego, making them feel better. But that wears out too, because the new supply will start getting sick of hearing about the exes And that's when they'll probably devalue them, discard them, and try to circle back to you. So it's so important to remember that it's up to you to stop this crazy rabbit hole, monkey mind, whatever business that you're in with this narcissist. This is not typical normal behavior, but they will try to convince you that it is. They want you to be depleted also when they leave you. You're in a, just a brain fog, which again is much easier to manipulate. That's how cults work. That's how a lot of politics work. That's how a lot of anything where somebody wants to control another being works. Mind control. Get them weak, get them tired, sleep deprived, not healthy, all that stuff. But the other reason they do it, and I don't care if they do this consciously or subconsciously, the fact is they do it because the self-aware narcissist will be like, well, we don't mean to. It doesn't matter if you mean to or not. The fact is that you do it. So going back to that example of like, it doesn't matter why you punch me in the face. The fact is that you punch me in the face. We don't have to sit here and oh, I get it now. I get it. You punch me in the face because you didn't give it enough hugs as a kid. Oh, it makes sense now. It's fine. I forgive you. No, it doesn't matter. The reasoning, the fact is they do that. So you have to be aware of it. So the other thing is they want you to feel like them. So in the discard, if you feel broken, if you feel anxious, if you're now thinking about the new supply because they did some triangulation, again, you would never even know about them if they didn't mention it. But of course they do that because they want to triangulate. They want to make you jealous, insecure, weak, debilitated. They also want to plant that seed so that now you're thinking about them because that's how they were feeling. They were thinking about you guys, feeling guilty, feeling insecure, feeling anxious. Now they transferred all that onto you. I had an epiphany because this guy who I've shared about in, lots of videos now, he's like got a lot of material for me because this last one was covert and it was very just really, I was shocked by this one because I didn't think he was that way, but really when I get to it, I'm mad at myself because I did see the signs, but I gaslit myself. And I was like, no, couldn't be. He's so nice. And no, don't let your past dictate your future and all this stuff. And so I gaslit myself into believing that he wasn't one, right? But when he came back to me and I accepted the Hoover, one of his things was, I'm so sad because my ex just broke my heart and I'm so scared to be in relationships. And I was just crying in my bed with my sheets over my face. And I was just crying going, that's it. I'm never going to be in a relationship again. And that's why I was dating a bunch of girls, but I'm exhausted and I don't want to date a bunch of girls and you're the only one for me. And I really want to try it with you and all this stuff. No, that was all a lie to get me to come back and then discard me, but I fell for it. And then one day when I was lying in bed crying with the sheets pulled over my head, I thought, oh my God, I'm him now. He just gave me that thing while he's off with his new supply, feeling great. So that's what they do to a person. I was talking to another friend of mine, and he has had narcissistic abuse by women. And I told him, I'm like, you're never going to be able to date a girl as long as she has control over you, even if you guys aren't dating. If she has control over you, that's it. Because that's the other thing about narcissists. They don't want you happy. If they can't have you, which means full control, you waiting on the sideline, being their side supply or flying monkey or their main supply or whatever, but you're just on call waiting for them. They're in control of your life. If they can't control you, they would rather have you be unalive. And that is the truth. In the last video I posted about narcissism, the first comment that I got was a death threat. And instinctually, I feel like I know who it was, even though it was like from an account, like a fake account, or maybe it was a troll just wanting to troll people who are spreading awareness about this. Maybe it was a narcissist, who knows? But maybe a sociopath or psychopath, but anybody giving death threats just because you're not saying what they want you to say is a scary individual at best. And that is a very narcissistic type personality trait, to want you just gone, eliminated. If they can't control you, they'd rather you just not be around. And that's scary and sad, but that's how much they don't like you. You know, one of the signs that I saw with this guy that I was dating when I accepted the Hoover back, one time we were talking about something. I was like, well, that's odd. No, but I don't allow anyone in my house that hates me. And his response was, you better lock your doors. And right that, see, these are the moments when, like, I should have really questioned him right there. But it was so odd, and I instinctually, and from his behavior, thought he meant himself. But that is a weird thing to say to somebody that you're dating. It's like, oh, you hate me? That's strange. But so here are the tips and tools so that you can avoid this. You can get out of it if you've been in it, and save yourself time, money, dis-ease, so that you can have ease, grace, love, a happy life. Because again, remember, 10 minutes can take up a week to recover. So a month, a year, weeks, hours with a person like this, especially when your heart is bonded, trauma bonded to them, it could take a lifetime to recover. So I want to save you time, and it's not too late. I don't care how old you are, it's not too late. You deserve to have a happy, peaceful, loving life. So from now on, what I invite you to keep doing, and what I'm doing, and I felt like a hypocrite because in my classes, when I teach and when I direct, I'm very good at reading behavior and reading what is happening. But where I take responsibility, why I've attracted narcissists over and over in my personal life, is because I would gaslight myself. I would gaslight myself and go, Leah, you're not teaching right now. You're on a date. Just relax. Like, I would almost tell myself not to read behavior, not to trust my instincts. I was a hypocrite. I would do everything opposite of what I believe and what I teach, because my people-pleasing habit would kick in, and I would go, no, he's being nice, even though every alarm bell in my body is saying something's off. No, what he's saying seems fine, but everything in my body is saying, no, he's lying. Oh, what he's saying seems odd that people who hate me would show up to my house, but I'm just going to brush it under the rug because I want to be easygoing and light and easy breezy and agreeable. And, you know, I bought into this whole thing of like, maybe you're single because you know, you're too masculine, and so you've got to be agreeable like a little flower in the wind and just, yes, and I don't know, and show me the way, show me the world. I don't know anything. I'm just a deer out in the woods. And I fell into that because I was like, let me try something new. You know, I know that I'm masculine, so maybe I'm actually a gay man. I think that's what it is. Wait, hold on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm very much a woman, very much a female, heterosexual female. But I bought into some of these narcissists that are teaching, well, if you're single, it's because you're too masculine. If you're single, it's because you have too many ideas in your head. If you're single, it's because you're not agreeable enough. So I gaslit myself. So what I invite you to do is ask questions, lots of questions. And when something's weird, let it be weird. That's what I teach in my classes all the time. In the Meisner technique, when we're reading behavior, we act in life, see? And when people come to my acting classes, they realize that they're actually not acting for a change. Because in life, like I was, we act, we BS. And then you come in an acting class and you're like, wait, we're not acting in here? No, because you're acting in life all the time. By being like, oh, what? You hate me? Oh, that's so silly. Oh, that's fine. Easy breezy. I'm just a deer. I'm just a deer in the woods. I don't know anything. Please like me. No, ask questions. That was a weird thing to say. What do you mean? So you hate me? What do you mean by that? Ask the uncomfortable questions. Let it be uncomfortable if it's uncomfortable. That's just a moment in time. Trust your instincts. Trust your instincts. Trust your instincts. When you're sweating and your heart is beating and you're feeling like all these butterflies, that's not chemistry. That is your nervous system saying fight or flight or fawn, freeze. That is your nervous system saying something's wrong. We were taught wrong. As a kid, I remember being in the 2nd grade and having this kid pour an entire thing of glue in my hair. And I went to the principal and I had all this glue in my hair. It was a mess. And he told me that that meant this little boy liked me because he was mean to me. And then that story is perpetuated forever. Oh, if guys are mean to you, that means they like you. If they're really horrible to you, that means they like you. Look at the Beauty and the Beast. Just love him more. Just be kinder. Don't ask questions. Just be agreeable. Make him dinner. Make him a sandwich. So, learn from my mistakes. Trust your instincts. Ask yourself, can I afford this interaction? Can I afford a week out of my schedule to feel anxious, not believe in myself, to put my gifts and talents on the back burner, to have my other relationships suffer, to have my health suffer, to hang out with this person? Can I afford that abuse? Ask yourself that. Get real with yourself. Do I think I'm going out with Mr. Rogers and really it's Roger Rabbit? And every time it's Roger Rabbit? I better rewatch that movie because I'm not really remembering. I just remember it's a rabbit who, morphs into things in different situations and can be really rude or nice or seductory or whatever, depending upon the circumstance. And it just reminded me of it because it's like going down the rabbit hole, Meanwhile, Mr. Rogers is very clear. You know what the intentions are. Imagine Mr. Rogers breaking up with somebody who he didn't like. He wouldn't be discarding, devaluing, triangulating. Could you imagine how kind Mr. Rogers was to people when he broke up with them? There's a way that we can be with people that isn't rude and dismissive. I know I've broken up with people. I'm not the best person on the planet. I make mistakes. But if I'm breaking up with somebody, if they're not a narcissist, if I'm not scared for my life or something, I'm going to be kind, right? Aren't you going to be kind, loving, caring, nurturing, understanding, compassionate? These are nothing that you'll find in a narcissist discard. None of that. What you will find is black eyes. Even guys or girls with blue eyes, their eyes can almost go black. And they'll feel weirdly calm and cool if they're discarding you, because it's the only time their nervous system is regulated. They feel great if you feel bad. They feel great because that's how they feel 99.9% of the time. Terrible, anxious, worried, doubtful, shameful. So when you feel that, they're like, what a relief. I feel great. The first thing a narcissist does after discard is relief. They feel great. They can't wait to get to their new supply and start this whole thing over and get you gone. Get you gone until they need you again, right? Otherwise, they just want you out of there. They transferred all that shame and blame onto you. Now they want to just go off and party. If you've been through this, if you're feeling this now, you can save yourself so much time, so much money. Keep watching videos like this. Be in the community. Comment below because it inspires other people. And this energy is real. The more of us that wake up to this, the less and less they will play with us because they just won't even have the opportunity to, right? So then only narcissists can play with one another. And it's great for them anyway because they love drama. And they love that whole cycle, so they can just abuse each other and do that cycle and just have a wonderful Disneyland time of narcissism. But the rest of us can use our gifts and talents and be of service in the world and enjoy this life. And really, you're giving a great service to them because they love that. So it's like a narcissist heaven. So let them do that with each other. Subscribe if you haven't. The energy is real. If you have, thank you so much. Join this community. We do other things here. I don't just talk about narcissism. I also give you tools to live your life purpose. Tools to get in touch with your imagination and to create a life you love. The reason I talk about this a lot is because this gets in the way a lot. It's an epidemic all over the world. So I guess that's a pandemic, right? It's a mess is what it is. So let's clean it up. Let's clean it up and wake up. You're worth it. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.